I'm Michael Waltrip. I've been with NASCAR on Fox for 21 years, and today we are going to announce something that is unique and as fun as anything that I've ever heard of, and that is going to be something I think everybody's going to love and enjoy. First of all, I'd like to recognize Pam Miller, who is the producer of Fox NASCAR's Xfinity broadcasts and played a big role in today's announcement. She helped pull it together. Also, I would like to introduce Jacob Ullman, Senior Vice President of Talent Development for Fox Sports. Like I said, 21 years with Fox. Some of us develop slower than others, and Jacob, I really appreciate your patience.
No problem.
Means the world to me. Also, the folks from NASCAR and the track got to have a lot of fun last night, running around on the optional tires, getting to feel what that's all about. Can't wait till you boys get out there on them today. I think that you're going to feel a bit of a difference. I wasn't going near the speed that you'll go, but I was driving a car that didn't handle really well at 150. So hopefully, you'll be able to feel what I'm talking about. The announcement is that for the last 3 seasons, Fox Sports has rotated Monster Energy Cup Series drivers in the NASCAR Xfinity Series booth with Adam Alexander and I. Adam and I have had the best time ever bringing the guys in and listening to their insight about what's going on the track. They were literally on the track an hour before, and the race is getting ready to start. So not only do they have the intimate knowledge of what's going on right now, they've also raced in Xfinity cars before, so it's just a really neat fit for them to come in and share their insight. And today, we're going to take that a step further. Talked about the option tires that we're going to see here this weekend. We've got an option for the booth and for pit road and for the Hollywood Hotel. And that is for the June 10th NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Pocono, live on Fox at 1 p.m. The entire race is going to be called completely by active NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series drivers. They're going to take over. Fox believes this is the first time in a national sports broadcasting history that a nationally televised sporting event has been called on air by a team comprised strictly of the athletes actively competing in the sport. Kevin Harvick will host the play-by-play, which will be awesome. Joey Logano and Clint Boyer will be alongside of him in the booth, playing off of Harvick. Our pit reporters will be Ryan Blaney, also Eric Jones, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and in the Hollywood Hotel, Danica Patrick will be hosting, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be in there as well. So, as you can tell, this is well thought out. There's a great group of personalities.
Hey, Michael.
What?
Denny Hamlin was going to be at the end.
I mean, Ricky can, but...
It says right here on my piece of paper.
I'm doing it all. I'm doing it all.
Gonna need 22 years.
Danica Patrick and Ricky Stenhouse.
We're together.
It made sense to me as well. I guess that's why I went with that.
We'll go with Denny. How's that?
Okay, and Denny is unfortunately unable to make it today, for whatever reason. The regular Fox broadcast crew from the Xfinity Series will be in Pocono with these guys in case they need any help or direction. Me, Adam, Larry, Shannon, Jamie Little, Chris Neville, and Matt Yoakum will be there. And they're going to be able to shadow us during the practice shows or any questions that they might have. So that's a fun morning if you ask me, and I'm really thankful that I'm a part of the Fox family, and I'm really thankful that they enable us to do so many fun things, and this is just an example of that. I have a couple of housekeeping notes, and that's not written here, but I just know MCs say that sometimes, so I wanted to. Eric Jones needs to leave right now because you have a rookie meeting and we don't want you to miss another one, buddy.
Yeah, I did that last week.
Yeah. So, all right. You want to say bye?
See you guys. Thanks.
At 11:32, I was supposed to ask Kevin a question. Kevin,
Yes, Mike.
you've done several NASCAR Xfinity Series races with us in the booth. What made you feel like it was time to take the next step?
Well, I don't know that I'm actually ready to take the next step. So I think that let's just get that straight. I think, you know, all of us could probably tell you that between yourself and Adam, it takes a lot of the work out of the equation. And I think that'll probably be the biggest thing for me is just preparing a little bit more than what I have in the past. But these guys, you know, I know Jacob and I have talked about this before, but Michael and Adam, you know, it's a pretty selfless act that they let us come up in the booth and be a part of the broadcast and kind of impede on their territory and job. But it's been, I think it, like Michael said, it's been a great thing for the fans to be able to be off the track, you know, an hour before and relate that really current opinion of what's going on with the racetrack and the cars and the tires and everything in our sport. So I think, you know, that for me has been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed my time up there and glad these guys let us invade their space. So this will be a lot of fun.
And I want to give Kevin, Joey, Clint, all the guys that come up a lot of credit because they open Adam and I's eyes to so many different things. They don't just wing it. They study, they're prepared, they watch film, they understand what's going on, and they bring so much to the broadcast that it's an honor for me to be able to race against these guys all these years and then be able to see their passion and their heart for the sport, to bring that type of dedication to the booth that they do to the race car. It doesn't just happen because they want to have a little bit of fun. It's fun, but it's also work, and they understand that, and I appreciate all that they put into it. Jacob, maybe you can answer this. How did you put your arms around this massive undertaking of saying, I think that this will work? Because I know everybody I've talked to is very excited about what's going to happen in Pocono.
Well, 3 years ago when we started having drivers up in the booth with you and Adam for the Xfinity races, I don't know that we knew how successful it would be. Literally everybody that's done it has been unbelievable. So I would say about 9 months ago, all of our bosses, Eric Shanks, had the idea, hey, why don't we just take it the next step and just try it with doing all drivers? And at that point, you know, Kevin has done the most appearances for us in the booth, and I think we kind of thought he'd be the right person to kind of anchor us up there. He handpicked Joey and Clint to be with him. I just thought those were the right guys. And then I think we identified that we thought Danica would be the right person to be in the Hollywood Hotel with, you know, all the commercials she's done, TV appearances, just felt like the right fit. And then for Pit Road, I think it was, you know, as we've seen all the great young drivers that have had so much success this year, I think we wanted to have 3 people that hadn't necessarily worked for us before, but we thought would be people that might fit in the future. So between Eric, Ricky, and Ryan, it just kind of felt like the right fit there as well.
What young talent you have down on Pit Road, and they need to be versatile and they have to be quick to get those stories, and you kids can really get that done, I know. Ricky, congratulations on the big win at Talladega. Ryan, it's been fun watching you make the Wood Brothers car run fast and out front, so congratulations on that. And Danica, what's it going to feel like trying to do something that Chris Myers does?
I think I'm going to need a lot of hand holding. I think I'm going to need a lot of primping. I find one of the hardest things for me is to get my hair and makeup done in time for broadcast because I just
struggle with that as well.
Got out of the car and I don't have any of it done. So I think I'm going to go with ponytail for the broadcast, maybe, or half up. Let's just get it out of the way. But no, I think this is a great opportunity. This is a great idea. Thank you, Jacob. This was, you know, I think that this will draw a lot of attention and perhaps, I don't know, revolutionize TV a little bit with sports and who's included and how they are. I think there's nothing better than putting people in position that are the most current and aware of what's going on. And then on top of that, personalities that are prepared to give their honest opinion as well. so I think this is going to be really cool, and I don't quite know what I'm in for. I have no doubt it will be probably more of a challenge than whatever I'm doing that day otherwise. But I'm up for the challenge. I like to try new things, and so we'll see how this goes. And Shannon's going to have to lead me to water.
Gotcha.
Hopefully I drink it.
Speaking of drinking, Clint, how do you think you will prepare? How do you think the pre-production meetings with your fellow booth mates, think there'll be a few bushes included?
She said revolutionize. I think it's good job security for you guys. I think it's a great idea you guys letting us do this. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's extremely hard. You know, when you go up there in the booth and you watch, you know, Adam Alexander do his thing, and you watch how you guys work alongside. You take care of the business side of it. You call the race. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. The pit road reporters having to get the information fast, like you said, and getting counted down, who to throw it to, all these things that we all take for granted watching it on TV. When you're up there in the booth and you see it all going down and the producers in the ears and all the things that's going on, it's really eye-opening. So I hope that it'll be a learning experience. It's going to be something. I can promise you that.
I agree. Joey, are you ready? You think this is going to be more fun than when you do it with me and Adam?
Well, I don't know if it'd be more fun, but it'll definitely be very entertaining for us and for everybody, to say at least. I'm glad Kevin's kind of leading this thing for us, so we can play off of him. It makes our life a little bit easier. But I think it's going to be really great. Obviously, this is a very special moment in TV. And like Clint said, it's going to be very challenging. I know I have a hard time just when you have the earbud in there and Pam's trying to tell us where to go next, and you're trying to say something and listen at the same time to something else, and a lot of times you lose track. So we're not professionals at this. You guys are the professionals and do a great job every week. But it's going to be fun. I think it's going to definitely draw a lot of attention to the race in Pocono. And obviously, you know, this never happening before in our sport is a special thing. So I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be selected to be up in the booth and get to call a race with a couple of great drivers and amazing pit road reporters and Hollywood Hotel. It's going to be a lot of fun. There may be a little bit of chaos, so you know, cut us a little bit of slack, but it'll definitely be a lot of fun for us. So thank you.
I think it'll be fun. Blake, run down there to pit stall 40. Go back down to 1. Go
We're
check
just gonna
out
have you running.
Run back down there to 30.
I'll be up in
Pit
the
road at
hotel
Pocono
and
isn't that long, so
and
you'll be all
boom
right.
goes the dynamite. If I say boom goes the dynamite, it's not going well.
So just keeping with my timeline, at 11:35, you guys out there are supposed to ask some questions. So does anyone have a question? Because this is really going to put me back on time. Okay. That would have really worked out if there wouldn't have been any. Yes.
Jacob, how do you know that these guys can pull it off? What sort of support? What sort of support is Fox Sports going to be providing behind the scenes to ensure that this isn't a disaster?
It won't be a disaster, but all the people, all our announcers will be there, and their regular that are there on a normal race will be there to support them, to shadow them. So. Yeah, so Adam, Alexander, and Michael will be in the booth with these three, and you know, kind of shadowing them if they have questions during commercials, lead them in certain directions. All the pit road reporters will be shadowing. You know, Jamie Little will be with Ricky and across the board, and then Shannon Spake, her role actually will be very critical of the whole thing. She'll be also in the Hollywood Hotel, but kind of off to the side, and will take us out a break from time to time, explain to viewers what's happening, and also kind of handle a lot of our sponsored elements, just to kind of get through that traffic, and also be with Danica. And then Larry McReynolds will be there for, you know, the crew chief perspective, and will pass on notes to Danica and to Denny in the hotel. So they won't be flying blind. If there's a situation where you know, an emergency happens or something unexpected happens, we can always lean on the pit reporters to handle an interview in a situation like that. We're not going to put anybody in a situation that won't be uncomfortable.
Yes, Jamie.
Just thought about that. We gotta do an interview after somebody wrecks.
If it's something, if it's something serious, You lean on James
Yeah.
in that situation.
So what exactly happened there?
Didn't look like the best move to me.
What were you thinking?
That's going to be awesome. This is going to be
It
fun.
actually will be.
And that was going to be my question is, what's your biggest concern, pit reporters?
For me, I would say just trying to take all the notes. I know you have like spotters that kind of help listen and what changes, other cars and teams are making, and trying to call that out for 5 or 6 different cars. Normally we're only worried about our car and what adjustments we're doing, but taking 4 Goodyear tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, and I gotta practice on this. So
You got the wording right.
2 cans most of the time at Pocono. So yeah, it'll be fun. I think that's just making sure the words that I'm thinking come out correctly.
I struggle with that as well. Yes, Bob.
Bob Hockers, ESPN. Was Pocono chosen for a reason? I'm thinking maybe because it's a big track and maybe easier to kind of see everything, and things maybe don't happen, I would say, as quickly or as crazily as
I think that was an element. I think the timing of it was towards the back of our season. And then also the race is airing on Fox, not on cable on FS1. So we're able to deliver it to a larger audience because we think it'll be really fun and attract some eyeballs.
I think Pocono's a good track. I think it's going to be fun to call the restarts when you're 4 and 5 wide and all that stuff. I mean, that's going to be a blast. That's way exciting.
Well, and I think from, I don't know what tracks you guys have done, but from my experience, the bigger tracks are they give you a little bit more of a breather in between what's going on. You get to Phoenix and Bristol and those types of places, the pace of what's going on is a lot greater than what it would be at Pocono, especially now that we have the stages and there's so many more things going on during the races. You have more, in my experience, you have more information to talk about this year with the stages and what's going on, especially in Xfinity races, because of the fact that the stages are so short. Stuff is happening fast, and you have more to talk about than you can actually talk about, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think the strategy of Pocono is going to be one of the craziest races maybe of all year. Being able to pit there without going down a lap usually, and knowing that there's a caution coming around the corner with these Xfinity races could be very entertaining for us. So for all of us to be up on our game, being able to listen and watch the race, and like I said, here's where Larry Mack is going to help us a lot probably, and trying to help us understand what the strategy is going to be.
And Pam hiding the corner the whole time. She's a big help to us when we start the week of what's going on with the races. You wind up with emails and notes and different things that happen during the week, and so I enjoy going to the production meeting. And to me, that's the most one of the things that has kept me. I feel like I've been more involved and in touch with what's going on in the sport since I've started doing the TV and radio stuff. Just for the fact that you have to look at all those notes. You have to know names and numbers and cars and changes and things that are going on. So a lot of times it seems like we probably know what's going on, but that's one of the big reasons that we know what's going on, because of the information and things that we get.
And I think that's why we're going to be so fortunate as viewers and fans of the sport, is these guys will be talking with their crews all week long about how they're going to attack stage racing in the Cup race, how this is going to work at Pocono. It's such a unique track. They'll have that information in their brain. Nothing will get past them. They will know every move these guys will make and be able to articulate that to the viewer.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. For Jacob, I know you mentioned this is toward the tail end of your all's portion of the schedule, but when this works, can we see something like this going forward?
I don't think we're going to do it anymore.
Absolutely, we could be open to it. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think that when we, 3 years ago when we got back into broadcasting the Xfinity Series and had the idea to have guest announcers, I think we were so happy with how well it's gone. And I don't know that we said every year we'll do it, but we have, and I don't see any time we'll ever stop it. So if this goes well, it's certainly something we'll look at doing in the future.
Christian at catchfans.com. Jacob, I was just wondering if guys are going to, Danica may run through like a trial simulation before they actually get on the air, maybe during practice or even qualifying that weekend at Pocono.
No, but I think she'll be, and I'll let her answer, but I know that she and Shannon Spake have communicated and talked, and we'll give her lots of advice. For the guys in the booth, they're obviously already doing races. Clint's going to do, he'll be doing the Xfinity race here next week. Joey's doing Dover, and Kevin's done a bunch during the season. So I think the booth will be the most well-conditioned, and I think that our group in the Hollywood Hotel will work directly with Danica and get her as comfortable as possible.
And I think that's part of the fun of it too. I think, and that's the fun thing about Fox is, when you screw up, poking fun at yourself or each other, and I think that's definitely going to be an element of the broadcast that comes into play where we laugh and make fun of ourselves and each other just for the fact that we know we're going to screw up, they know we're going to screw up, and I think from a booth standpoint, it's probably, the three of us have talked, it's not going to be the traditional booth where, it's me leading the show. It's going to be all three of us taking charge and doing saying what we see and doing what we think is right during that particular time. So it's part of the fun is going to be the screw ups and things that happen.
Yeah, if it feels exactly the same as a normal race, then we've done something wrong. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be probably more of a conversation and looser.
And one thing I'll point out too, real quickly, is these guys calling the kids that are coming up in the Xfinity. It means the world to them. When we walk through the garage, Adam and I doing research, or Kevin's over there talking to guys, it means the world to the young kids coming up that these guys care enough about what they're doing to be a part of the broadcast. So there's so many positives that come from these Cup stars participating in our broadcasts that some people don't even see, but the competitors definitely do.
Mike Embry, USA Today. Kevin, you guys know that occasionally it rains at Pocono. Can you guys, can y'all fill 4 or 5 hours of rain coverage?
Well, I've actually done that twice now but I've had a lot of help in the booth. So, it's like Jacob said. I mean, there's not going to be a moment where we need to have something happen that we can't pull from the experienced people that are there to help us and do it on a weekly basis. So,
do they get their job back if it's Monday?
Yeah.
They get their job back if it happens on Monday.
Yes.
So it's
we're here for you, buddy.
It'll be fine. I think that's the biggest thing is we'll work through it. I think all of us, whether it's the booth or on pit road, I think all of us have done enough of this and been around this long enough now that we could probably BS through just about anything if we have to. And that's really what you want it to feel like, right? You want it to feel like you're having a conversation with your buddies about a great race that's happening on TV and inform the people that are watching. That's the goal.
I believe the idea of having a pre-production meeting the night before came up, though, to answer your question a little bit about are we going to be watching film or how are we going to prepare. And I'm actually very much glad that we're doing that because I feel like you can kind of go through the flow of how the next day is going to go. We talked about bringing, pizza, beer, and I told Shannon I'll bring the wine, but I think I might just need to focus. I might not bring pizza either. I'll bring us a salad. But the pre-production meeting will be good to go through the flow.
Jacob Zillman, Performance Motorsports Network. I guess I'll give this one to Kevin because you're the senior member here.
You're saying I'm the oldest.
No, you've just done the most broadcasts out of this crew. What does this say, though, about the sport to have not just all of you guys, but even the drivers we've already seen, not be afraid to go ahead, jump up in the booth and offer the kind of analysis that you guys do? What does it say about NASCAR versus some of the other sports that maybe don't have this kind of driver participation?
Well, we always talk about our sport being the most fan-friendly and interactive sport that there is. And, I think this is just another element that shows, how important I think it is as drivers and especially the group of drivers that participates as to how important it is to relay the message that we need to have relayed. And it helps us to see it from another perspective. And I know it has for me because sometimes you sit in the production meetings or you sit in a booth and you see something happen and you're like, wow, I would have never have approached it or thought about it that way from a competitive standpoint. So it gives you a broader perspective of what's going on and how things are handled and why things are handled a certain way sometimes. And, for me, that has been fun to try to put all those pieces together to be a part of it. So, I think we all know how important it is to be in front of our fans and speak to our fans, and this is great exposure for all of us as well. And every time we sit in that booth, it's great exposure for us. It teaches us things, and it's like Michael said before. If this is something a path that you want to go down in the future, you better learn all those young guys' names, because eventually they're going to be the ones that you need to talk about. So it's fun to learn about them when they're 15, 16, 17, 18 years old and racing in these series.
Is that it? I saw Billy Malton here. Say a prayer for us, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate you, and thanks everybody for attending. And I'm going to wrap it up 11 minutes late.
Well
Thank
done.
you.